Good morning, everybody. The President's News this week comes to you from Norman Park. By accident, I have to admit, rather than by design, having delivered the news last night down at Old Beckahamians to the Wednesday Nighters, due to a slight technical hitch, that we have no recording of it. So I thought I'd take the opportunity of rehashing it, as it were, but to do it here so you'd have the opportunity to see how the new development is going on. As you can see, it's shooting up. The roof is on now, and they're starting to do the brickwork up from the ground floor. Anyway, we started off on a somewhat sad note with the news last night. We learnt recently of the death of John Lindblom, who was a very long-serving member. I think he'd been a member for over 70 years. He actually died last year, but we've only just heard about it. Now, John, well, he was on the Honours Board for 1949, so he was certainly a member then. And I think that was the year he ran a 10.6 second 100 yards, of course, as it was at the time. He was also a very keen rugby player, and in fact, it was a rugby injury that really constrained his athletics career to a certain extent. But John, I don't know an awful lot about John personally. Tony Pontifex said a few words last night. He knew him a bit better, but we remember him. And on a similarly sort of somber note, unfortunately, we've also heard that Rob Brown is not at all well. So we send all our best wishes to him. Anyway, moving on to athletic type events. It was a relatively quiet weekend. There was an open meeting at Tunbridge, which we don't have all the results for, but Bailey Stickings did 2 PBs in the 150 and 300 metres respectively, which is, you know, don't run very often. And Dina's Asher Smith, who ran at Lee Valley in the Intercity Club Challenge, she ran in a mixed 300 metres, having done 400 metres race the week before. She ran a 300 metres there in a mixed field, and she won the race in a time of 39.16 seconds, which was no, sorry, she won it in 36.41, which was just about 3 seconds quicker than the 39 second time, which was her previous best, which she actually ran in 2009, so that was 13 years ago. Anyway, that time on the weekend, that moved her into 8th place in the UK all-time list, and is a club record. So also at Lee Valley, there was another club record in the women's 40 age group. Louise Valens ran 200 metres in a new club record of 26.88. So I was just looking back. So far this year, we've had 11 club records broken. Lewis Mills and Yasmin Ostrich, respectively, for their respective age groups in steeples, 3K steeplechase. Katie Ann McDonald for 15, 100 and 800 metres over in America. Alex Pope for the men's 35, the 60 metres and the pentathlon. And Clem Leon's had 3 club records he's broken so far this year in the men's 65 age group, the 60 metres, the long jump and the triple jump. So well done to all of them. It's a jolly good start to the year. In terms of overall activities, I had a look at Strava, where quite a few club members are in the Strava group. There's 108. 75 of them were out in action last week, and they ran a distance of 998.5 kilometres, so nearly 1,000 kilometres in the week. So the challenge for you guys is to get it up to 1,000 kilometres in the week. I actually detected, looking at it, a bit of tailing off, so maybe it's because the marathons are getting closer. Some other people have been doing long distances are easing off. Anyway. Park run, we had 57 club members out doing park run. At Bromley, obviously our home park run, we had 1st, 2nd and 3rd in the men's, with Ben Gardner, Micah Evans and Henry Fisher, and Carol Coulon won the ladies race, so that was good. Over those 57 members who ran at 23 different locations. I think that's probably partly a reflection of the Easter holidays and people travelling away. So I looked to see who'd gone furthest. Steve Pearman had got up to Edinburgh, but Dick Griffin beat him. He was up at Stonehaven, which is not far from Aberdeen. Anyway, what I was going to say, any overseas members who might be looking in at this, if they take part in their local park runs, why don't you let us know about it? Moving on then to forthcoming events. This weekend on Sunday, we've got the YDL Youth Development League for the under-20s and the under-17s at Eton. Under-17s at Eton. We've got the Paris Handicap, which starts next Wednesday. This is the 5K handicap race one on a Wednesday night. So that starts next Wednesday at Beckerhamians. Registration from 6:30. Registration closes at 7 and the race starts at 7:15. It's the usual course, but the start and finish will be moved to make it a little bit closer to the Beckerhamians clubhouse, I suspect. And then another reminder, of course, we've got the Ted Pepper on the bank holiday Monday, May the 2nd. Another thing I wanted to bring to people's attention is the courier. Now, I don't know whether you're of an age like myself to remember Bill Clapham coming round the changing rooms in the old clubhouse, thrusting a typewritten sheet into your hands with all the details of all the results over the last month for club members. Well, that publication still exists. Pat Cownan's doing it now, and he's really doing an excellent job, because apart from having all the results of club members, every single one, it also has some very interesting articles. The latest edition, as I say, it's out now, and you can get it. There's a link to download the PDF on both the, what I call the new club website and the old club website. So the link's available on both those sites. But it's got some very interesting articles. I was reading one, he goes back and looks at 100 years ago in club history, and he also looked at 25 years ago. And if we look at 25 years ago in the club history, 1997, Julian Golding, past president but one, was third in the World Indoor Championship 200 metres semi-finals. The men's under 17 team won the nationals for the first time, and that included Michael Skinner, who of course still very much in touch with us. And Steve Hollingdale won the closing 5 yacht handicap that year. that race had 45 finishers, and interestingly, 3 of the finishers in 1997 also finished and ran the race in 2022. Talking of the club's history, can I just remind you about John Turner's 2 books, which have got very interesting extracts from our Gazette over the years. Starts off in the first edition is 1898 to 1948, and the second edition, which John bought out not long ago, 1948 to 1979, and half the proceeds of those go towards the club, so that's all in a good cause. So the other thing I need to mention to you is that we have now resourced how we provide club kit. So instead of us having to hold quite a store of items of various different types of kit, and all in the many sizes, members can now go online and purchase their kit. And it's good kit, it's Nike. Most of the kit is Nike-based kit. It's through a company called Kit Locker. They're included in the online stuff you can buy is club vests, singlets and crop tops. There's shorts, briefs and leggings, and there's training t-shirts and jackets and socks. We do have some old kit still. That's down at the track, and we'll be selling that at 20% off. So that's another opportunity. One thing to note about the new website: the link to it again is on both our websites, but the link to it on the internet is kitlocker.com, and then it's /run/clubs/Blackheath-Bromley-Harriers-AC. You can try that out and see what's on offer. We'll be extending the range of items available as we move forward. Just an important point to note: first of all, the delivery time at the moment on stuff ordered online is 3 to 4 weeks, so it's not something you can get on a sort of next day basis, so remember that. And it's also important for members to remember that if you're running in competition, you've got to have the official club vest with the stripes at the front. The normal running t-shirts won't cover you for that. Bonus ball winners last night, which I handed out. From 2 weeks ago it was John Isaacs, and for last week it was Gareth Lloyd, so be looking out to see them next week for a drink. And then the final thing I just want to mention is John Hubbard has put out on social media a repeat of his request to try and get a few more officials. I mean, we can't run track and field meetings without officials. You need track judges and field judges, and you can't organise an event safely unless you've got those. Now, you don't need to be qualified, you don't need to be experienced. If you put your name forward and volunteer for that, you will be supervised and guided by somebody who is an experienced official. And I'm going to give it my first try this weekend at Eton, so look out for that. But I would encourage you to get in touch with John. So that's basically the news. I just got a sort of final little pearl of wisdom I'd like to leave you with. Some runs make you feel invincible, some make you feel defeated, but every run makes you stronger. So I'm going to leave you now. Behind me you may well see the staff of the track management team. Oh, they're over that direction. They're busy marking out the infield for the throwing events. So and you can see the track's looking splendid and still in full operation. And the new building is shooting up behind me. So all good news. So until next week, goodbye.